pre-thing that shut down society that shall not be mentioned, the film industry was already in a death spiral because a bunch of idiots decided to focus on a bunch of woke garbage that nobody wanted. Well, let's look back on those days and remind ourselves that if Hollywood finally implodes when this thing is over, it has nobody to blame but itself. You people decided to make this crap and elevate some of the most legitimately toxic people the entertainment industry has ever produced, and that's saying a lot, my friends. So when karma comes back to bite you in the ass, and it will if it hasn't already, remember, we all warned you years ago, and you just called us a bunch of names. Thor actor Tessa Thompson doesn't want to work with a bunch of white people. And a bunch of men. I can see this comment is fully adhering to the pre-current disaster script. Thor Ragnarok actor, and least notable and most annoying part of the entire film, Tessa Thompson, stated she doesn't want to work with a bunch of white people and a bunch of men. Well, Tessa, if Hollywood ever wants to make a profit again, then I would say you won't be working with anyone. Yeah, that might be wishful thinking. God help these idiots. YouTuber and triggerer of many a woke idiot, MechaRandom42, brought Thompson's comments to our attention in her recent video. Again, remember, you did this to yourselves, morons. And big thanks to Mecha for digging up these comments. The internet never forgets, folks. Thompson's comments were made in November 2018 while at the European premiere of Creed 2 and represent a perfect time capsule for the period. As reported by The Independent, Thompson told the Press Association, "I don't want to show up on a set and see a bunch of white people. No offense." Really, how could anybody take offense to such a racist comment? Just try saying this about any other group and see how well it goes over. Thompson continued, "I want to see work that really looks like the world in which we live." You mean the world that oppressed woke elites like yourself live in? "There are lots of people of color. Look around. It's also really exciting, not just what we put on screen, but also to work on productions that are inclusive." So you're saying that people of color were never in films before, and I think you really need to look at the word inclusive. What you people are, and have always been, is exclusive and discriminatory. "I want to show up on set and have it look like the world I walk around in every day. An elitist and echo-chambered fantasy world from hell, which is full of women and people of color. And folk with disabilities." You don't say! Well, I've never heard tell of such a thing. How virtuous of you. "I want to make content that feels like that both on camera and off it. And keep them nasty white dudes as far away as possible." While discussing her role as Bianca Taylor in Creed, Thompson stated, "I hope we get to a space where there is so much content where women are just what we are, which is multifaceted and dynamic, so it's not noteworthy when one appears in a film." Actually, dumbass, that was a thing for years. Then the woke movement female characters reared their heads, and they became, well, like you. What's really interesting about Thompson's comments is that it doesn't appear that she actually practices what she preaches. You don't say. Well, color me shocked. Another woke ideologue that just looks in the other direction when a paycheck's involved. Surely such a thing has never happened. Since her comments in 2018, Thompson has starred in Avengers Endgame, and was the most irritating thing in that film after Captain Nasty, Men in Black International, which went over wonderfully, Lady and the Tramp, Sylvie's Love, and Westworld Season 3. Well, her very presence on that show is enough to make me want to stay the hell away from it. Not to mention all the other reasons. Oh, Westworld, you once showed so much promise. All feature white people and men. Oh dear, I think you have some explaining to do, young lady. Avengers Endgame featured a number of white actors and men, including Robert Downey Jr., Chris Hemsworth, Mark Ruffalo, Chris Evans, Jeremy Renner, Paul Rudd, Benedict Cumberbatch, Scarlett Johansson, the lovely Brie Larson, and Tom Holland. The film was directed by Anthony and Joe Russo. Would you like to comment, Miss Thompson? Men in Black International also featured a number of white actors and writers. Perhaps you should return that particular paycheck, young lady. At least it would help recoup some of the losses. And of course, everything else also featured white dudes. I'm still waiting for that comment. As Mecha also points out, Disney's executive chairman and former, but not former, CEO is Bob Iger, and the head of Marvel Studios is Kevin Feige. Oh dear, you really need to donate all your money to women's causes or something. You really need to be the change you want to see, and then do us all a favor and get lost. Mecha also notes that Thompson, just like Brie Larson, Natalie Portman, and other Hollywood types, like to talk down to the rest of us from their ivory towers and say some of the most non-self-aware things. Truer words were never spoken. Well, perhaps not much longer, even if Hollywood does manage to survive this. Although if it continues with these people and these movies and TV shows, after The Thing, which must not be mentioned, is over, if nothing else, it will give us plenty of great content as we watch the entire industry burn to the ground. And it won't be soon enough. And that's it for today. Don't forget to subscribe and follow me on Twitter. And as always, everyone, thank you for watching, and have a great day.